This is Part 2, Episode 110. Wang Lin coldly looked at where the short elder was escaping to and slapped his bag of holding, bringing the celestial sword out. From within the celestial sword came Shuligua's arrogant voice. "Grandson, don't run. Your grandpa Shu will let my junior brother play with you." As soon as the voice came from the flying sword, the half-moon blade immediately charged out toward the short elder. All of this happened extremely fast. In almost an instant, Wang Lin broke the bloody palms, destroyed the ghostly head, and caused the short elder to run for his life. At this moment, Shifang's sword energy was quickly closing in on Wang Lin. Wang Lin turned around and saw Shifang's origin soul, which was on the small sword behind the sword energy. His expression remained the same, his body didn't move, and he only raised his left arm. Metal celestial energy suddenly came from his left arm and filled the valley. At the same time, his left arm was like the sun releasing a blinding, golden light, and a vortex slowly condensed at the center of his palm. "For cycle metal celestial spiritual energy," said Wang Lin softly as he gently pushed his palm forward. With a series of rumbling sounds, the golden vortex in his hand suddenly charged out and directly collided with the sword energy. At this moment, a large number of cracks appeared in the valley, and even many of the surrounding mountains began to collapse. After the sword energy was the small sword with the willow leaf engraved on it. It charged through the air past the collision and went directly toward the area between Wang Lin's brows. Its speed was extremely fast, so although Wang Lin was at the mid-stage of soul transformation, even he didn't want to mess with an early-stage soul transformation cultivator who was going all out by merging their origin soul with their life-saving spell. However, this was only true before he had the soul lasher. Now, his expression didn't even change. He quickly backed up as he touched his bag of holding and a black shadow suddenly appeared, breaking the sound barrier right when it came out. With a crisp sound, the small sword trembled as if it had been hit by a powerful force, and its speed immediately decreased. There was another crisp sound as the whip hit the sword. An angry roar came from the small sword, and a green flame suddenly condensed around it. It broke through space and immediately appeared 3 inches away from Wang Lin's forehead. "Oh!" Desperate now, Wang Lin quickly backed up as the whip moved at lightning speed toward the sword. With a series of crisp sounds, the whip landed on the small sword, causing a series of miserable screams to come from it. In the end, a large amount of black gas poured out of it. It immediately stopped charging at Wang Lin and turned around to escape, except now the light on the sword was extremely faint. A large amount of black gas came out from the small sword and turned into the shape of Shifang. The current him was extremely weak, it was as if a gentle breeze could make him collapse. Shifang wanted to return to his body, but Wang Lin wouldn't give him that chance. Just as his origin soul was about to condense, Wang Lin's right hand pointed forward and a ray of green light shot out. The target wasn't Shifang's origin soul but his body. Shifang watched as the green light turned into a giant monster. The most eye-catching part of this monster was its sharp mouth. At this moment, the sharp mouth was moving at lightning speed as it descended from above, then it pierced through Shifang's head and stabbed deep into his body. Shifang's essence, blood, and flesh, along with some remaining celestial spiritual energy and anything that was devourable, were sucked dry in an instant. In the end, all that remained was a corpse. Shifang's origin soul that had just formed from the small sword stared dumbfoundedly at what just happened. He turned around to give Wang Lin a vicious look before flying toward the juniors in the distance. There were 4 juniors, 2 male and 2 female. Shifang didn't hesitate at all as he charged toward Guoxingyi. Guoxingyi was confused. He didn't know why the elder was charging toward him. His vision suddenly went dark and there was suddenly a wound on his forehead. It was the small sword, it had pierced through it. Guoxingyi's body trembled and his eyes dimmed. However, his eyes suddenly lit up once more, but there was a strong sense of weakness coming from those eyes. Wang Lin's eyes became serious as he looked at the scene with interest. It has to be said that possession was not simple, even Sichu Nan took more than 10 days to complete the possession. However, this elder was able to immediately regain his sanity and looked like he had already completed a majority of the possession process. This point surprised Wang Lin. At this moment, Guoxingyi's face was pale. He stared at Wang Lin and quickly said, "Fellow cultivator Wang, everything was my fault this time. If you let me leave, I'll give you the method of this quick possession technique. I also swear by my true soul that I'll never speak of the matter here today." With that, Shifang waved his hand, and aside from Qian Qin, the other two immediately exploded and died. "Fellow cultivator Wang, this girl, Qian Qin, is still a virgin. I have a spell that can use virgins to heal your wounds. If you let me go, I'll gift that to you as well." Shifang's heart pounded extremely fast as he looked at Wang Lin. If he hadn't been forced into a corner, he wouldn't be begging like this. Qian Qin's body trembled after hearing Shifang's words. She looked at Wang Lin with a complex expression before clenching her teeth, kneeling down to the ground, and softly saying, "I beg Senior to please kill this person and the other Da Lu Sword Sect elder. Qian Qin doesn't have anything to give, but I am willing to spend my life serving Senior like a cattle or a horse." Shifang's face was gloomy, and a hint of killing intent flashed across his eyes. Wang Lin's expression remained the same as he slowly said, "Do you know if there was anything abnormal when Sword Saint Ling Qian who returned from the Celestial Realm 200 years ago?" 200 years ago, Shifang was startled. He pondered a bit before his eyes lit up. He looked at Wang Lin and asked, "Could it be that you're talking that sword spirit?" Wang Lin's eyes became serious and he said, "Tell me about it." Shifang pondered. After a long time, he bitterly said, "I only heard about it, so I don't know the details. I heard that the Sword Saint was a mess when he returned, and after that, a series of murders occurred inside the sect. Finally, an unknown sword spirit appeared and had a huge battle with the Sword Saint. After that, the sword spirit disappeared. No one knows where it went." Wang Lin looked at Shifang. This person was not telling the truth. Wang Lin's expression didn't change as he calmly said, "Place your fast possession method in a jade and give it to me." Shifang raised his head. He looked at Wang Lin and said, "Do you agree to let me go?" Wang Lin coldly looked at this person and said, "That will depend on whether what you imprinted on the jade is real or fake." Shifang clenched his teeth as he took out a jade and imprinted the possession technique and the healing spell on it. Then he threw the jade directly at Wang Lin. Wang Lin raised his hand to catch it and began to read it with his divine sense. He directly skipped past the spell that used a virgin to heal and focused on the possession technique. Shifang's eyes lit up, and without any hesitation, he began to move. He charged into the distance and was about to leave the valley. Wang Lin didn't even look at him as he pointed at him with his left finger. The grey gas that had been circling his finger suddenly shot out toward Shifang, breaking the sound barrier in the process. Shifang immediately noticed. He jerked his head around and shouted, "Wang Lin, are you still a cultivator?" His body flickered. He was about to teleport, but he had just finished possessing this body, so everything was in a weakened state. Just as his body began to use celestial spiritual energy, the two strands of grey gas suddenly sped up and closed in on him at an unimaginable speed. Shifang's pupils shrank, then his body trembled a bit and stopped moving. The two strands of grey had already entered his body and cycled through him like crazy along his veins. After 3 breaths of time, with a loud bang, Shifang's body suddenly collapsed. A large amount of flesh and blood rained from the sky again, and grey gas once again gathered from the flesh and returned to Wang Lin. Wang Lin raised his head and his divine sense withdrew from the jade. This fast possession technique does have some value. Wang Lin put the jade away and looked into the distance. That was where the half-moon blade and celestial sword were. The short elder was trapped by them and was waiting for Wang Lin's questioning. Wang Lin didn't immediately move there but slowly walked to west side of the valley. This was where all the flowers were. He squatted down, picked up a fruit, and smelled it. Wang Lin's action caused the mosquito beast that just ate Shifang's body begin to rapid beat its wings. Its eyes revealed a willingness to please. Even the woman named Qian Qin's eyes became serious as she looked at the brilliant golden fruit in Wang Lin's hand, and she couldn't help but sigh. Her sect had spent a lot of effort to find the brilliant golden fruit, but they unexpectedly met the people of the Da Lu Sword Sect. She originally thought that everything was set in stone, but then there was a sudden change that resulted in the scene before her. The sudden appearance of the Heavenly Fate Sex Purple Division's seventh disciple, Wang Lin, easily changed everything. Wang Lin softly whispered, "Don't worry." After the mosquito heard this, it quickly nodded. Its eyes contained a hint of fanaticism. As Wang Lin held the brilliant golden fruit, he wanted to test if this fruit could fill up the metal element of the heaven-defying bead. If not, then he would just feed it to the mosquito beast. The heaven-defying bead was only missing the metal element after the battle at the Suzaku tomb. It was still missing half of the required element. Wang Lin pressed the brilliant golden fruit against his forehead, and it went inside it. After a while, he revealed a look of disappointment and loosened his hand. "I was too impatient. How could completing the heaven-defying bead be such a simple matter? 700 years of cultivation, and even with my luck, I was only able to complete 4 of the elements. Every completion was filled with danger, so I believe that the completion of this last metal element won't be simple either. I just don't know if that golden spirit root will have any effect." Wang Lin secretly sighed, then he reached out and about 1/3 of all the brilliant golden fruits flew into the air. The mosquito let out a cry of joy as it sucked hard with its mouth and devoured all the brilliant golden fruits. At this moment, a golden light suddenly appeared around the mosquito and flashed brightly 9 times before returning to normal. Seeing that the mosquito seemed to have enough, Wang Lin no longer picked more fruits. His right hand formed a seal and sent out a ray of spiritual energy. This energy landed on the flowers, causing them to release a golden glow. This glow was very blinding. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He didn't back up but instead slapped his bag of holding and took out a large amount of jades. He imprinted his divine sense onto each of the jades and placed one next to each flower. Not far away, the woman named Qian Qin stared at Wang Lin with a confused expression. She didn't know why he wasn't picking the fruit but instead looked like he was setting up a formation. Could it be that to harvest the brilliant golden fruit, formation that is required? The confusion in Qian Qin's eyes increased. After placing down the last jade, the pondering expression in Wang Lin's eyes disappeared and was replaced with a sense of clarity. According to the memories of the ancient god, only after this fruit has naturally grown, naturally ripened, and naturally withered will the golden spirit root form. However, I don't have the time to wait right now. The time it takes for the fruits to completely wither is random, it can take days or years. I don't have time to wait, so I have to use this spell from 2-size memory. An ancient god uses the bones of a demonic beast, but I'm using jades, so the effect may not be as good. Wang Lin felt helpless about this. With how powerful the ancient gods were, all the materials they used were the best. He faintly shook his hand and then raised it to form a very strange gesture. This gesture was not the seal of a cultivator, but something from the memory of ancient god Tusai that had the effect of a catalyst. This was the gesture to activate the formation. Wang Lin muttered, "Die?" After he said that word, a ray of yellow light shot out from his left hand and landed on a jade. The moment the yellow light landed on the jade let out a high-pitched shrill. Shortly after, the jade exploded. This scene caused Wang Lin to frown. Even Qian Qin, who was in the distance, was scared. However, although the jade had exploded, the yellow light didn't disappear but became even stronger. When the jade exploded, the yellow light charged out and landed on another piece of jade. After that there was a series of explosions. At almost the instant the yellow light touched a jade, it would cause it to explode to dust. Wang Lin frowned even harder. After several breaths of time, the yellow light became stronger and stronger. It was now golden and was no different from the color of the flowers. The golden light surrounded all the flowers, causing them to slowly shrink as if they were about to fall off their stems. Not only the flowers, but even the brilliant golden fruits began to shrink and slowly wither. Even the stem was the same, it was as if they were all being baked by intense heat. This scene caused the mosquito beast to let out a series of sad cries and reveal a deep sense of sadness. If it wasn't for the fact that it trusted Wang Lin a lot, it would have already come down to steal the fruits. As for Qian Qin, her heart hurt as she stared at the withering brilliant golden fruits. Her heart bled and ached for the withering fruits. Wang Lin's expression was normal, but his eyes were very serious as he silently stared at the withering brilliant golden fruits. The entire atmosphere of the valley became heavy. It didn't take long for all the golden flower petals to fall. However, the petals didn't fall like normal flowers. Instead, they melted into a golden liquid that fused with the ground. After the petals came the brilliant golden fruits. They also melted into drops of golden liquid that fused with the ground. After that it was the stems. This whole process lasted half an incense stick of time. After that period of time, there was nothing left on the ground. The mosquito let out a sad cry. Its head loosened and it began to pout in the air. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he walked toward where the brilliant golden fruits once were. He looked at the ground and suddenly his eyes shined brightly. He squatted down and his right hand slowly dug into the ground. He let out a smile as he pulled his hand back and something that shined as brightly as the sun came up with his hand. He had pulled out a mysterious object that looked like a ginseng with 4 whiskers and was glowing like the sun. When one looked at it, they would get a very warm feeling. Wang Lin secretly thought, for whisker golden spirit root. If I had let it form naturally, it could have at least reached 5 whiskers. The mosquito in the sky was completely stunned as it stared at the root in Wang Lin's hand. This kind of gaze had never appeared in its eyes before born. This gaze was filled with a hint of madness. Qian also had her small mouth opened as she stared at the root in Wang Lin's hand, and her mind went blank. At this moment, she finally understood that what she thought earlier was her own ignorance. The true use of this brilliant golden fruit was to harvest its roots. Wang Lin plucked 1 whisker and pressed it against his forehead. Shortly after, his expression changed. This object was more effective than the brilliant golden fruit and could make the metal element of the heaven-defying bead increase a bit. However, the amount was simply too small. He calculated that even if he absorbed this entire root, it would only increase the metal element by 10%. He let out a sigh as he plucked a whisker and threw it at the mosquito beast, whose eyes still contained that hint of madness and want but had restrained itself from charging down. The mosquito let out a happy cry as it quickly flew to catch the whisker. With one suck, it completely swallowed the whisker. Only 2 of the 4 whiskers were left. After the mosquito devoured the whisker, the madness in its eyes slowly disappeared. This time, it began to glow, and unlike before, it didn't end and continued to glow. Finally, the mosquito slowly curled up its wings and its entire body curled together. The golden light released from its body became even stronger until it formed a golden cocoon that completely surrounded the mosquito. The golden cocoon slowly darkened as it completely surrounded the mosquito, making it so no one could see inside. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he forced his divine sense into the cocoon. After observing it a bit, he revealed a happy smile. After the mosquito has devoured so many treasures, it is finally going to evolve. Its strength should increase a lot this time. Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the golden cocoon was put away into the bag of holding. After he put it away, he pondered a bit and waved his hand, causing a ray of green light to appear. When the green light appeared, it turned into a giant thunder toad and landed with a thud. Its eyes were filled with laziness. However, this laziness completely disappeared when it saw the 2 whiskers in Wang Lin's eyes. The lazy gaze turned into a serious stare. Wang Lin faintly smiled, then he plucked 1 whisker and threw it at the thunder toad. The thunder toad's stomach expanded and a red tongue shot out from its mouth. The whisker that was in the air disappeared without a trace. A thunderous roar came from the thunder toad, then it slowly began to close its eyes as if it was very tired. Wang Lin pressed at the air and returned the thunder toad back to his bag of holding, then he looked at the woman, Qian, who was still watching. When Qian noticed Wang Lin's gaze, her body trembled. She quickly bowed but didn't say a word. I was able to obtain this golden spirit root thanks to your luck. You can take this last whisker. With that, Wang Lin plucked the last whisker and put away the main root for his original body. He took 1 step, then his body turned into green gas and disappeared without a trace. Qian was startled and subconsciously caught the whisker floating toward her. Everything before her was like a dream, she wouldn't dare to believe it was all true. When she turned her head, the man named Wang Lin was already gone without a trace. Qian stood there for a very long time before putting away the whisker. She walked up to her fellow sect member, then she let out a sigh and quickly left this place. Wang Lin's body moved like lightning. It didn't take long before he crossed a mountain range and entered the depths of this land. Here was where the short elder of the Da Lu sword sect was sitting in the lotus position on a giant tree with an extremely pale face. 1 inch away from between his brows was the half-moon blade, which seemed to just be floating there. 1 inch above his head was the celestial sword, it was also just floating there. Although the sword was motionless, it gave off a powerful sword energy. After seeing Wang Lin arrive, the old man let out a sigh of relief. Fellow cultivator Wang Lin, if there is any problem, we can talk about it. This old man will tell you anything you want to know without a single lie. The short elder was helpless because his cultivation was weaker and his treasures were worse. Wang Lin didn't even have to chase him, all he had to do was throw 2 treasures at him and it was enough to drive him crazy. The flying sword wasn't too bad. Although it was very sturdy, the sword energy wasn't too powerful. However, just this sturdiness was a big problem for him too. No matter what he tried, it had no effect on the flying sword. If it wasn't for the fact that he was running for his life, he would have done whatever it took to take it so he could study it. What really caused the short elder to completely give up was this strange half-moon blade. This half-moon blade was like a primordial war god that harvested lives. Its speed was too fast, and the entire time, it was extremely close to his head. It was as if it had a powerful hold on his neck, so no matter what he did, it would be difficult for him to escape death. As a result, how could the short elder dare to run anymore? Just like this, with a blade and sword pointed at him, he waited for Wang Lin's arrival. The bitterness in his heart was very strong. He regretted coming here with Shifang and offending this fiend. He couldn't be bothered about whether Shifang was still alive or not, all he was worried about was how to save his own life. Strands of grey gas moved around Wang Lin's finger as he stared at the old man. He calmly said, "Many years ago, when the Sword Saint returned from the celestial realm, was there anything abnormal? Hesitate and die? Lie and die? Say something different from what Shifang said or die." The short elder was startled, but he quickly blurted out, "When the revered Sword Saint returned, there was a terrifying sword spirit that had chased after him. It battled with the Sword Saint for many days before collapsing. The Sword Saint sealed away 1/3 of the sword spirit deep within East Demon Spirit Sea." Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he quickly asked, "What is so mysterious about the East Demon Spirit Sea?" The short elder didn't dare to delay and said, "The East Demon Spirit Sea is one of the 3 great forbidden areas of planet Tianyu. There are many ancient demons inside there. Every 10,000 years, the control of the gate to the area changes ownership. This time it belongs to my Da Lu sword sect. The gate is opened every 5,000 years, and every time it opens, every sect sends disciples to enter to capture ancient demons. Capturing ancient demons is only secondary. The main reason for the East Demon Spirit Sea is a trial, a bloody trial. Once one enters, the danger is extremely high. It can even be said that the fewer people that come out, the better, because the real benefit is when you leave, you will receive the demon spirit inheritance." At this moment, the short elder's eyes were filled with greed. Demon spirit inheritance. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. That is correct. This demon spirit inheritance can push cultivators' cultivation 1 whole level. If one receives it during the Dao-seeking stage, then it will decrease the risk and increase the chance of reaching the ascendant stage by a lot. Of course, if one is already at the ascendant stage, it will still help increase their cultivation level. If one is at the late stage of ascendant, it might even help them take the step into the incorporeal yin and corporeal yang stages and obtain a body that can last for tens of thousands of years. This is why it is such a big deal for planet Tianyun. There are many greedy people, but the East Demon Spirit Sea is very dangerous. If you want the benefits, then you must be willing to pay. Anyone that is allowed to enter is one of the most outstanding people of their generation. There is even a rumor that it is possible for only 1 person to come out. If someone can do that, they will obtain a never-before-seen reward, a low-quality celestial spell. Wang Lin pondered a bit and then his eyes lit up. With one thought, Shuligua seemed to notice, and the half-moon blade immediately lit up. In an instant, the half-moon blade penetrated the head of the short elder. The short elder's body trembled, blood gushed out of his mouth, and his eyes dimmed. He pointed at Wang Lin as his eyes gradually closed, then he fell on the ground and remained motionless. Wang Lin waved his right hand and the half-moon blade and celestial sword returned to his bag of holding. Then his body flickered and disappeared. 3 incense sticks of time after Wang Lin left, the short elder suddenly opened his eyes and the hole between them slowly closed. He took a deep breath and looked dispirited. He turned around and looked viciously at the void and muttered to himself, "You want to kill me? Well, it's not that easy. This old man cultivates the 3-soul method, which allows me to survive death 3 times. I didn't think I would use my last one here. Wang Lin, once I return to the Da Lu Sword Sect, I'll definitely find a way to force you to your death to get my revenge for today." His eyes gave off cold light as he flew off into the distance. However, just at the moment he moved, 2 strands of grey gas silently shot out from the jungle in the valley. Their speed was too fast, and they broke the sound barrier as they closed in. The short elder's expression changed greatly, and without any hesitation, he shouted, "Scatter!" With one word, a large amount of ripples appeared around his body to block the 2 strands of grey gas. At the same time, the short elder's body took a step back. Half of his body entered the void and he was just about to teleport away, but he was too late. The 2 strands of grey gas completely ignored the ripples and went directly through them. Like 2 wild chains, the strands of grey gas directly charged into the short elder's body. The old man's face turned pale and let out a pitiful smile. He could feel the 2 strands of grey gas cycle like crazy inside his body, and with every cycle, he would lose some of his life force. Wang Lin continued to move in the depths of the Earth Northern demonic land. The grey gas around him would sometimes be thick and sometimes be thin. The most eye-catching was the several strands of grey gas that were constantly moving between his fingers. As he flew, his expression suddenly changed. He looked behind him and let out a sneer. Shortly after, a thick strand of grey gas came from behind Wang Lin and formed a ball of grey gas before him. After taking one look at the ball, Wang Lin reached out to grab it. When he opened his hand, the ball of gas had disappeared. Wang Lin moved like lightning, and as he flew, he turned into a giant cloud of grey gas as he charged into the depths of the Earth Northern demonic land. Time waits for no one. The East Demon Spirit Sea will be the perfect place for me to practice the celestial slaughter art. This is one of the reasons for going. Ju Yi has helped me before, and now he is trapped in the East Demon Spirit Sea. There are a few people who I owe, and I'll repay them all. I must go to try and help him. This is the second reason for going. Master Allseer cares about the heavenly fate and would not do anything without reason. If he wants me to go, he must have his reasons. If I don't go, I'll be going against fate, and that would make it hard to get a foothold on planet Qian Yun. This is the third reason for going. I just don't know if I'll have the luck to find something that can help increase the metal element in the heaven-defying bead. If the heaven-defying bead is complete, it will probably have great benefits for Wan and might even awaken her. Wang Lin touched his forehead and revealed a gentle look of reminiscence. While thinking about Li Muwen, Wang Lin felt a hint of warmth in his cold heart. Li Muwen was the only one who walked into his heart and came with him to planet Qian Yun. Wang Lin pondered a bit before letting out a sigh, then his body turned into grey gas and disappeared. The deeper one goes into the Earth Northern demonic land, the stronger the demonic beasts becomes. In the inner 150,000 kilometers, there are even desolate beasts as strong as ascendant cultivators. In the last 10 days, the Earth Northern demonic land was covered in endless grey gas. Strands of grey gas rose from the ground and took life away with it. However, this grey gas never went within 150,000 kilometers of the center, so the desolate beasts didn't bother with it. This grey gas also only lasted for a mere 10 days before disappearing, so it didn't cause any lasting effect. 10 days later, there were only 6 days left before the opening of the East Demon Spirit Sea, so Wang Lin left this area. In contrast to 10 days ago, there was now a very well-hidden killing intent and a hint of grey gas moving inside his eyes. The most eye-catching were the 5 strands of grey gas moving between his fingers that were emitting the sound of howling wind. This sound seemed to contain a mysterious power, and anyone that heard it would have their attention drawn by it. The celestial slaughter art can be considered to be at the small completion stage. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he walked out of the Earth Northern demonic land and looked up at the sky. Transforming life force into seals is difficult. In this trip, I was only able to make 3 seals. A grey symbol appeared on Wang Lin's forehead. This symbol wasn't complex, it was filled with life force. After the symbol appeared, it immediately began to spread, and it covered his body in an instant. Shortly after, another identical symbol appeared and covered his body. With a total of 3 flashes, 3 symbols covered his body. Wang Lin lowered his head to look at his body, then he formed a sword with his finger and waved his finger. There was a grinding sound from the point of contact, but the finger didn't pierce through. East Sea, Wang Lin looked into the distance and revealed a look of determination. This video will end here.